Martell Holt, there is always something going on. It's like he just can't stay out of the headlines, whether it's about his business moves, his relationships, or his latest posts on social media. And this time, baby, the internet caught him slipping again. Or maybe he was being honest for once, because what he liked on Instagram got everybody talking. So grab your snacks, sit back, and stay with me till the very end of this video, because trust me, we're going to break down every single piece of this story, and you don't want to miss it. So apparently, Martell was out here double tapping on a video that had a lot of people saying, wait a minute, is he finally admitting what we all already knew? The video was of an older man talking about how some men get hoodie-dootied by the coochie. Now, if you haven't heard that phrase before, it's basically when a man gets so caught up in a woman that he loses everything: his money, his family, his peace, his direction. And when I say that description fits Martell Holt's life to a T, whew, it really does. Because if we rewind just a little bit and think about everything that went down between him and Melody Shari, it's like watching that definition play out in real life. Now, y'all remember, back when Martell and Melody were together, everything looked picture perfect from the outside. They were the power couple of Huntsville. They had businesses, they were building homes, raising beautiful kids, and it really looked like they were the example of success. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart fast. Martell was chasing what he thought was excitement, and that's when everything started to crumble. And now, years later, it looks like he's finally realizing it, or at least low-key admitting it by liking that post. And listen, when I tell you fans were quick to catch that like, they didn't waste 1 second. Screenshots started circulating and people were saying, oh, so now Martell understands. Now he sees what we've been saying all along. Because it's one thing for everybody else to call you out, but it's another thing entirely when you kind of call yourself out. That heart under that post said more than any interview he could ever do. He didn't have to say a word. That double tap said it all. He knows he lost big time, and deep down, maybe, he's starting to own it. And you know who was right?
So when fans saw that heart on that post, it almost felt like a moment of truth. Like, for the first time, he wasn't blaming anybody else. Not Melody, not the media, not even Arionne. He was just quietly agreeing with a video that perfectly summed up his downfall. That's why people said, okay, Martell, we see you. Maybe there's hope for you yet. Because accountability is the first step to growth, right? And if he's finally realizing that his downfall came from his own choices, maybe that's progress. But of course, social media couldn't just let it go. The memes started rolling, people were laughing, calling it the hoodie-duty confession. Some were even joking that Martell should start a podcast called Hoodie Dutied by the Coochie, because honestly, it would probably go viral. But beneath all the laughter, there's a real story about consequences and growth. Because at the end of the day, this isn't just about a like. It's about a man finally seeing the results of his actions. And you know who else has been watching this whole thing unfold from the sidelines? Miss Wanda. Oh yes, Wanda has never been shy about giving her opinions on other people's mess. She'll jump on live and say exactly what's on her mind, whether folks want to hear it or not. And if she catches wind of Martell liking that kind of post, you know she's going to have something to say. Probably something like, see, I told y'all. Men get themselves in trouble every time they follow behind the wrong woman. And she's not entirely wrong, even if her delivery is a little wild sometimes. Now, before we move further into this, y'all, make sure you're still with me. Don't go anywhere, because we've still got to talk about how this ties into the bigger picture, and also about what's going on with Portia and her new situation, plus the Cardi B and Offset drama. So stick around till the end, because all of this connects in the most unexpected way. And you'll see how the same kind of pattern plays out across different people in the spotlight. Same story, different names. So stay tuned, don't click away yet. We're just getting started, and the tea is still hot. All right, so now that we've set the stage with Martell and his little Instagram confession, let's keep it real. This man might just be on a slow journey towards self-awareness. Because liking that post wasn't just some random move. It was almost like a quiet nod to everything he's been through and everything he's lost. You could almost hear him saying, "Yeah, that's me. I got caught up. I messed up. I lost it all." And that right there is what makes this moment so wild. Because when you think about all the times Martell tried to justify his choices, tried to paint himself as the victim, this little heart emoji might actually be the most honest thing he's ever done. And let's not forget, Martell didn't just lose Melody. He lost a whole life that they built together. The house, the company, the respect, the family unity, gone. And you can tell that it still eats at him sometimes. Because as much as he tries to act like he's moved on, every once in a while, something slips through that reminds you he's still haunted by it. Like this post. Because the man in that video wasn't talking about just any kind of loss. He was talking about losing everything. The kind of loss that forces you to look in the mirror and ask yourself how you got here. And y'all know Melody has been out here living her best life. She's been focused, unbothered, and glowing like never before. She turned her heartbreak into her hustle. From her music career to her skincare line to her motivational talks, she's showing everybody that success is the best revenge. And honestly, it looks good on her. Meanwhile, Martell's still out here giving mixed signals. One minute he's posting quotes about growth, the next he's liking posts that scream regret. It's almost like he's stuck between who he was and who he's trying to become. Now, let's talk about the cast for a second, because you already know everybody in Love and Marriage Huntsville has an opinion when it comes to Martell. Marceau Scott, for example, he's been watching Martell's moves for years, and while he likes to joke and keep things light, he's also been very clear about not wanting to end up in that same boat. Marceau's the type to say, "Man, you gotta think before you act. You can't let your emotions or temptations mess up your whole legacy." And honestly, he's right. Then there's Letitia, who's always trying to defend her man, but also remind everyone that not all marriages are the same. She might throw a little shade, but she's smart enough to keep her distance from that kind of mess. Kimmy Scott, on the other hand, has always had a soft spot for trying to see the good in people, even in Martell. She's the type that'll say, "Everybody makes mistakes. The real question is, are you learning from them?" And Maurice, being the logical one, would probably agree. But let's be real, y'all. It's been a long road for Martell to eat.
Whew, it really does. Because if we rewind just a little bit and think about everything that went down between him and Melody Shari, it's like watching that definition play out in real life. Now, y'all remember, back when Martell and Melody were together, everything looked picture perfect from the outside. They were the power couple of Huntsville. They had businesses, they were building homes, raising beautiful kids, and it really looked like they were the example of success. But behind the scenes, things were falling apart fast. Martell was chasing what he thought was excitement, and that's when everything started to crumble. And now,